Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. I don't have much time and I'm not here for long, but I wanted to give you guys a warning about something that's happening in the economy that's very disturbing. Right now, we are experiencing what can only be referred to as the Great Debasement. The Great Debasement, which is a term used by many experts to describe what's happening with the dollar. The Great Debasement basically describes the fact that the U.S. dollar is in big trouble. The U.S. dollar is being hit really hard because of the recent downturn. We're starting to see debt levels that are insane. We're seeing slowed economic growth due to the virus. And also you're seeing just stimulus after stimulus. They're pushing down the interest rates. Pretty much they're doing everything necessary to really kill the value of the dollar. And so the dollar is really being hit hard, and I just want to warn you guys that if you are an investor, just maybe look into your portfolio and find ways to hedge and protect yourself against the declining dollar. One of the things that you can do is you can buy gold. They have ETFs that have gold in it, and silver and things like that. So those are things that are historically good hedges. Also, even Bitcoin is seen as a hedge. And so basically, if you want to understand, and I'm just going to describe this real quick because I don't have much time. Alicia's not going to let me sit down here and work for too long. But basically, here are the factors that are causing problems in the economy. One, we don't care. We don't seem to notice that our debt level is unsustainable. I think our debt is about $24 trillion, which is an insane amount of money on a government that brings in $3 trillion in revenue. If you want to think about it as a comparison, imagine a person who makes $30,000 a year who has $250,000 in student loan debt. Is that person going to be able to repay their debt? Yes or no? Give me a yes or no if you think a person who makes $30,000 a year can repay $250,000 in student loan debt. That's your country right now. That's the United States. Now, I want you to add in another factor. Imagine if that person comes to you and says, yeah, when I told you I made $30,000 a year, and you say, yeah, you're in big trouble. Imagine if they came and said, well, I just found out from my boss that I'm going to get a pay cut. That instead of making $30,000 a year, I'm going to make $28,000 a year. Then now they went from being screwed to being double screwed, right? That's your economy. Your economy has 24 trillion in debt. They bring in about 3.1 trillion a year, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in tax revenue and all that. And then they're going to get a pay cut. They're getting a pay cut because economic growth has slowed. The virus has killed a big chunk of the economy. That's why I'm saying, I know that the virus is real and all that, and you got to stay safe. But there's a point where you won't even have a country to protect if you don't let something happen. If people can't go to work, I mean. I told you the odds of dying from the virus. I calculated the odds just to make sure me and my family were safe. The odds are about 1 in 2,500. So that means if there's 2,500 balls in a bucket or in a big barrel, and you pick one. And you have to get 1 out of 2,500. One of those balls is the red ball. All the other balls are white, right? So that means that if you're unlucky enough to get the one red ball, then yeah. But 2,499 out of that 2,500 are going to be fine. So I'm not saying don't worry about the virus. I'm saying don't let them scare you into ruining your future because they've got you locked in the cage of fear or political fear. It's politically motivated. It's all controlled by politics. I want accurate information. I don't want spin. I don't want media spin. I hate when CNN tells me what I'm supposed to think. I hate when Fox tells me what I'm supposed to think. I hate when MSNBC gives me their spin and their analysis on what I'm supposed to think. No, I go to C-SPAN now. I go to places that will give me information, that will let me watch the damn press conference so I can really know personally what the politicians said. I'm tired of you telling me what they said. I'm tired of you paraphrasing. I'm tired of you quoting people out of context. I need to know the details. And I'm going to just tell you all the 100% truth. This is me as a person who's not a Democrat, not a Republican. Alicia and I, Alicia's a professor too. She's a full professor of social work. She's very, very smart. So we're not stupid people. We saw a headline about some stuff that the Florida governor said about the virus. Then we went and it made him look like an idiot. It made him look like he didn't give a shit. It made him look like he wanted everybody to die. We watched the damn press conference. We went and watched the actual press conference, and we said, it wasn't that bad. Like, what are they talking about? What are they? And I said, this is a game. They are politically manipulating people, and it's screwed up. They're emotionally scaring the hell out of people so they can get ratings and get people elected, and that ain't right. That ain't right. So anyway, moving forward, here's what this virus is doing to the economy and the fear around the virus. So debt levels out of control. Economic growth has been stalled, so you can't even deal with the debt you have. And then the last piece is that you're maxing out the stimulus. We got one more stimulus package coming through. We already passed one for $3 trillion. Now we're coming back for at least another $2 trillion. Now the Democrats want to spend $50 trillion if they could. They don't care. But then the Republicans, unfortunately, they don't care either, because they're protecting rich people who should be taxed at a higher level so they can help the government get out of debt, right? So the Republicans are protecting the rich, and the Democrats just want to spend us into oblivion. Like, they act like money doesn't matter and money isn't real. Both of them are wrong. Both of them are wrong, in my opinion. But you can't spend money all day as if you have an endless supply, and you should not be protecting people like Jeff Bezos, who have $130 billion in the bank. Both of those things are wrong to me. So the third component that's going to kill the economy and kill the U.S. dollar is that the stimulus is maxed out. The stimulus, eventually they will have no more levers they can pull. They will not be able to pull interest rates down any lower. They will not be able to write more checks and send more stimulus checks out. They're going to run out of weapons. And so ultimately, if you want to do an analogy, basically go back to the 3 points I just made. You have excessive debt, you have insufficient economic growth to deal with the debt, and you have maxed out economic tools. You've maxed out your economic stimulus to deal with the crisis. So that's like a person who makes $30,000 a year, who has $250,000 in debt, who has maxed out his credit cards, and emptied his entire piggy bank. So imagine a person like that. I want you to take a second and meditate this. This is your government. A person that makes $30,000 a year with $250,000 in student loan debt, who has maxed out all their credit cards and has emptied their entire savings account to deal with whatever crisis they're dealing with. That person doesn't have a lot of options. They don't have a lot of levers. They're either going to have to cut their spending, or they're going to have to increase their income. Something's going to have to happen. So that's what we're looking at. That's what it is. And so that's why your dollar, according to many experts, the dollar is going to go through, over the next decade, is going through what they're calling the Great Debasement. The Great Debasement is where all the rich people are positioning themselves for an eroding dollar. They're positioning themselves. They're like, America's going to hell in a handbasket, and because they're rich and because they're always making moves, their moves are moving toward commodities like gold and silver, Bitcoin, emerging markets, things that are going to help protect them from these problems. So that's it, guys. I'm about to go. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, share, and subscribe button. Make sure you subscribe to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. Follow the Black Financial Channel on Instagram. Also, we have the Black Stock Market Weekend, which is going to happen on the weekend of August 7th, and you can actually get a 48% discount if you want to go sign up right now at theblackstockmarketweekend.com. That's where I'm going to break down an exclusive 11-step methodology that I use to pick stocks and decide which stocks I want to add to my portfolio. It's something that you won't find in a textbook. It is something that I created specifically for black people based on our economic condition and based on our economic goals. So you can go spend $100,000 to attend a university, but they won't have this because this is something I created in the Black Business School. So anyway, I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day. Thank you for listening. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.